Okay, whenever you're ready.
We're ready.
Would we all please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to welcome everybody here for the public hearing on the Special Services Area Number 1 ambulance service. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Certainly. Farnham.
Here.
Lawton.
Here.
Luddy.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Bruner.
Here.
Ellis.
Here.
Voigt.
Here. Before we actually open up the hearing, I would like to just preface what we're going to do here today. We have a current contract for ambulance service in area number 1 that ends, a 5-year contract that ends May 31st of 2024. We are in the process of creating a new bid document for another 5-year or a little less to put it in line with levies. For the coming 5-year contract, it'll be a little less than that, and that will start on June 1st, 2024. Obviously, it's going to be a bid document. In order to, since the levy has to be done by December 1st of this year, in order to protect the contract and make sure we have money. We suspect that we might have to pay this time. We have paid 0 for the last 5 years for the contract, saving people about $1.956 million. So at any rate, what we're doing is hedging our bets to make sure that we have money to pay for a new contract. If the new contract does not, say if it's 0 again or whatever it is, then we can abate the taxes. So I open up the hearing. Does anybody have anything? Did I miss anything on that? Okay. I open it up for comments from the general public.
I'm gonna wait till after they talk first. Can I
Oh,
wait
they
till
don't talk. They're not
They're
talking.
not gonna talk?
No.
Okay. Do I need to stand up here?
If you were comfortable, and if you would just identify yourself, please.
My name is Randall Jones.
Yes,
I'm from Paris.
yes, sir.
I do pay my real estate taxes, but I'm here just wanting to know is they could do it for nothing before, why can't they do it again?
My understanding from not the hospital, but just in general, that over the last couple of years for reasons of COVID, have turned everything pretty much upside down. Labor's gone up, the price of insurance, the price of equipment has doubled. Building the new jail, we're aware, and that's what makes us cognizant of this, that it's kind of a different reality now than it was 5 years ago. And we're appreciative of having 0 for the last 5 years. We don't know what it's going to be exactly, but we want to make sure that we're covered and we can offer a quality ambulance service to Area 1, if that helps you.
Well, I guess the question would be, did they receive COVID relief money? I mean, I'm just kind of curious how much they received and how that was distributed. I mean, it cost everybody else. Not everybody got COVID relief funds, but I'm sure they possibly did. But I'm just kind of curious as to exactly how much.
You'd have to address that to the current owner. We don't have a requirement in the contract for them to tell us that. Okay?
Wouldn't the county like to know? I mean, I'm just curious, I'm just
Well,
asking.
We're restricted. I mean, we can't have a contract that dives into the personal or financial aspects of a business. We assume we set up the criteria for the business, and they bid on that criteria or that set of requirements. So, I mean, individually, we may want to know, but as a board, we hold the bidder or successful bidder to the confines of the contract.
So if as a private individual as bidding on it, you would want to know theirs? You wouldn't want to know theirs, they just
No.
let them bid?
In the contract, it has that they have to have a certain amount of credit, and they have to carry insurance. They have to have been in business for 1 year, and they have to locate within a certain geographic area to offer the services to the county.
Can I ask another question about
Absolutely.
taxes? Does the hospital pay taxes?
Again, you would have to ask the hospital those questions.
Can I ask, I mean, they're here, I mean, the financial guy's here, I think. Can you answer? Can I ask that question to them?
This is set up for
Yeah, yeah,
discussion with our board
right.
and on the levy.
Right,
I think if you wanted to ask them that you could call and talk to them that way.
okay. But, I mean.
I'm just saying, I mean, I'm not gonna volunteer the hospital or
Yeah.
anybody else to answer questions. This is strictly for the county board,
Okay.
okay?
But I do have commercial real estate in this town. I'm sure there's a lot of others, like you said about the COVID. And I'm sure there's a lot of businesses that are suffering, but you want to raise their taxes again. I mean, and not just the commercial ones, but the residents. You know, people of the community in the seven southern townships. And right here in Paris, Illinois. Okay, so, I mean,
They passed a referendum a number of years ago to create this district.
yes, sir.
We
Yes, sir.
kinda look at it that we got a break for 5 years,
Mhm.
rather than having them collect 20 cents per $100.
It'd be nice to have another 5 years.
It
another
would be
5 years,
nice, I would like to
Another
have
5
it,
years.
but
I'm sorry, don't take me wrong. I am a property owner and I do pay my taxes. And I'm just
I
voicing my
understand.
opinion. I think every one of you ought to be concerned about it because we all are consumers here.
But
And
we
all
also,
pay.
we also have to offer ambulance service
Yes, sir.
to the citizens of the ambulance service area.
And they have done it for free
5.
this last 5 years.
Yep.
And they should be able to do it the next 5 years, and the next 5, and the next 5. That's why I'm here, to voice my opinion, because I know it's gonna affect my taxes. And it's
Absolutely.
gonna affect every one of us. Okay?
Yep.
And mine considerably, okay? And I am one of small businesses here in town, and I don't need any more taxes higher.
I've talked to several people on the phone. I understand it.
Yes?
I think everybody in here is a taxpayer, so
Mm-hmm. All right.
thank you.
Thank
Did anybody else of the board want to comment to the gentleman? Okay. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak to the issue of the ambulance area service area number 1?
Well, I guess since he's talking to the board and while we've got people, you know, he had some questions, I'm gonna ask those questions. You know, did you get COVID funds? I assume you did, I don't know.
You could, I mean, this is, again, your meeting, if you want to formally ask us, we can, but that's not the purpose of this meeting. Our reception or not reception of COVID money is not the purpose of this meeting.
Well, but that might affect my decision on how I vote, and, you know, that's a question I have. Did you receive any funds? I'm not saying how many, did you receive funds?
And I'm gonna say, ask it again, you need to ask in specific years. It is, because the 2020 year was awful for a lot of businesses.
Right.
There were receptions of money in from the COVID relief fund, but it was really stopping the losses that we took from that lull, if you wanna say.
Right.
I mean.
So you did, but it's just
But those were,
replacing
I mean,
money that you lost.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, got, all
as
right.
a force, like I said, but
Yeah.
to try to address it appropriately with the year specific, yeah.
All right. Real estate taxes, I assume you pay real estate taxes.
We do some.
properties around it, but not the hospital.
And yeah, I mean, I can show
So
you which
nonprofit, you don't have to pay real estate taxes?
you have to file. There has to be a not-for-profit reason.
Okay.
So for the hospital proper, I would say that is tax exempt. I don't think it's ever been assessed actually.
Okay.
But property that we own, that we use for like real estate for housing, we keep those on the tax roll.
Okay.
Because it's not directly
Yeah.
the not-for-profit purpose.
That
But
answers
again.
That answers my question. All right.
Can I ask one more? I mean, I'm public.
Sure.
Okay, now, when they do, and when if they do build a new building for the ambulance service, will that property be paying real estate taxes? Because the other one did. Right?
They already have a facility out there for their ambulance service.
But it's not, is it paying real estate taxes?
I have no idea.
They're
That's
not.
between the assessor and the hospital.
And there's a system through the state you have to file for.
Right.
That's something I'll ask the assessor.
I mean,
Yeah, they got the part of the parcel numbers. Aggregated.
We're in the middle of a hearing.
will the new one pay taxes?
All right, I understand.
We got 4 minutes left. Somebody could come in,
Correct.
and I don't want to deprive anybody of not being able to participate.
I don't know that it was clear, that I didn't hear that discussed. For the general public, when will actual bids, you want to explain that process, the timing?
Well, the timing will take place as soon as we can agree upon the specifications. We hope we have a draft specification out by the first of the year so that we could authorize, the board could authorize the bidding at the January meeting and possibly award in February or no later than the end of the beginning of March.
And is that a hearing, is that just stated as a line item on our agenda?
That would be a line item on the agenda.
So if the general public wants to come, they'll just have to really pay attention and go to our website and look at the agendas.
Yep. And we'll have a study session prior to the actual approving it so that we can discuss all of the bids or whatever bids we get, okay?
And I know Monday I brought up about abating the amount of taxes, and Augie, you were gonna check, did you
Yep.
get a chance to check on that?
I did. There's no specific date, but it basically says after the assessor is finished with all the assessment process and the county knows the assessed valuation of the district, then the governing municipality can abate the taxes if they so choose. So when Dina gets done with all that she does, and we get our multiplier from the state, then she basically hands the taxes over to my office and we start doing the tax extensions, the levies. So there's a period in there where that's when the board could
And
decide.
that's usually in March.
It's usually in March.
State multiplier doesn't come out usually till
And
March.
it's been later, but that's usually what it is.
So the proposal right now, or the tax levy is set at 375,000. And then after she does all her stuff and gets it to you in March, we could take a look at it. And if we want to lower that amount, at that point, we can.
Correct. Or if we get zero again, we could abate it.
Right.
Yeah, abate any or all of it, any
Right,
part of it.
any or all.
Yes.
So whatever it comes in at.
But please understand, it may not be exactly in March. I mean, it just depends upon her workload.
Right,
'Cause it
it
was-
could be April.
Yeah, it was delayed a little bit this year, but
Yeah.
that, I mean, it's, I don't.
I think we have time, is what we're,
Right.
I think-
we should get it done as quickly as we can so that we can take advantage of it as soon as we can.
Get the bidding process done so we know where we're at.
Correct.
And then we can take a look at it, and if we need to lower the 375, we can.
That's right.
To-
And in
Down to
February-
zero, any
Whatever,
amount.
whatever it happens to be.
Well,
And, you know, obviously, we don't have any idea what it's
Right.
gonna be.
But that's good to know that,
You cannot raise it though,
correct,
but you can lower it.
right.
Okay?
Okay.
Well, hearing nobody, no other comments or anybody speaking to the issue, the hearing is now closed. We'll take a couple minute break and then we'll start the regular meeting.
Okay, this has bothered me long enough. Why do you have two pair of glasses on your face?
Because he forgot the one.
One's for far away and one's for up close.
We'll go ahead and convene the county board meeting for the month of November, the second county board meeting for the month of November. So, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second. Mr. Lawson interrupted my thought process. Give me a second. Lawton.
Here.
Ludington.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Bruner. Ellis.
Here.
Farnham.
Here.
And Voight.
Here. Okay, the first item on the claims against the county. You've all received that. Are there any questions or clarifications? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve. Andy moves. Lud seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. County board claims, are there, I'm not sure there are even any, but if there are, do you have any questions or clarifications? Hearing none, motion to approve. Dan moves. Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Next, we have 3 highway resolutions. The first resolution for improvement, BLR 09110, appropriating funds for the following: FAP Route 91 US 150, FAS 678 Vermillion Road intersection. We talked about that on, briefly with Aaron on Monday morning. Are there any further questions or clarifications needed? Hearing none, a motion to approve the resolution, please. Russ moves. Carl seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, would you call the roll, please?
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
And Farnham.
Yes.
It is approved. Resolution to appropriate local funds towards the Vermillion Road intersection improvement portion of the IDOT FAP Route 91 US 150. Again, we talked about that on Monday morning. Are there any additional clarifications or questions? Hearing none, motion to approve the resolution. Russ moves. Carl seconds. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
And Farnham.
Yes.
It is approved. Next, resolution authorize county board chairman to sign an agreement with state of Illinois for the Vermillion Road intersection improvement portion of IDOT FAP 91 US 150. Any further discussion or clarification needed? Hearing none, a motion to approve resolution. Russ moves, Carl seconds. Mr. Clerk?
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
and Farnum.
Yes.
Thank you, it is approved. Next, resolution to adopt budget and levy for the fiscal year beginning December 1st, 2023 and ending November 30th, 2024. You have it in front of you. Is there a motion to adopt that resolution? Dan moves. Andy seconds. Further discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
and Farnum.
Yes.
Okay. It is adopted. Thank you. Resolution to participate in State's Attorney Appellate Prosecutor Program beginning December 1st of 23 and ending November 30th, 24 at the cost of $8,000. That's what our lawsuits are handled by, that our own legal staff is not capable of handling. They can't be into all kinds of different laws, but these attorneys take care of us on a multitude of issues.
And when there's also conflicts.
And conflicts, correct. Motion to approve resolution? Okay, Lisa, and then Russ. Sorry, he beat you to the punch there, Carl. So, Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
And Farnum.
Yes.
Okay. For the next three items, would you take a walk on the wild side?
Somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay.
Leave it rest or leave it.
Next item is resolution to renew alcoholic liquor license number 1 for Andy Z. Patrick effective December 1st of 23 through November 30th of 24. Motion for that resolution, please. Dan moves, Phil seconds. Any questions? Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
and Farnum.
Yes.
It is approved. Next, resolution to renew alcoholic liquor license for the winery number 2 for Robert E. Morgan, doing business as Castle Finn Vineyard and Winery, effective December 1st of 23 through November 30th of 24. Motion? Russ moves. Carl seconds. Mr. Clerk?
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
and Farnum.
Yes.
It is approved. Next, resolution to renew alcoholic liquor license number 1 for Kathleen Puzzi and Kristen Shaughnessy, doing business as Two Poor Gals, effective December 1st, 23 through November 30th of 24. Motion? Carl moves, Russ seconds. Mr. Clerk?
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
and
Yes.
It is approved. Next, resolution to renew alcoholic liquor license number 2 for Michael Wilson, doing business as Southport Homestead, Inc., effective December 1st of 23 through November 30th of 24. Motion, Carl moves, Russ seconds. Mr. Clerk?
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
and Farnum.
Yes.
Yes.
Did I get Brunner in there? Yeah, I'm sorry. I checked.
Everybody, we're good. Thank
All
you.
good.
Next, we have a resolution authorizing treasurer to transfer
Now, we need to
40.
get Andy back in,
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
and while we're doing that,
Yeah, I'll get it. Okay, next is a resolution authorizing treasurer to transfer $40,000 from the farm fund to the general fund, which is a housekeeping item we do at the end of the year. Is there a motion to approve that resolution? Russ, second, makes the motion. Is there a second? Phil, seconds. Any further question? Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis,
Yes.
and Harmon.
We'll act on number 15 at the next meeting. I didn't get a chance to figure it out. I think we finished page 1. Okay. Number 16, upon recommendation from Joseph E. Meyer, tax agent, authorized chairman to execute the deeds for the following conveyance of properties.
Oh, that's what you just said, man. I knew I wasn't listening.
Okay, so we've got 6 parcels there. This is a standard item. Once our tax agent has collected money for those and they're satisfied with the amount of money and the conveyance and everything that's legal, we have to pass that. And they'll go back on the tax rolls.
Good there. Trahid.
So these are the people that bought the property back
Yes.
2 years
Yes.
ago, paid the taxes, and they went through the process, and
Yep.
That's how I'm not there.
Motion, Carl moves. Dan seconds.
3 of them are all.
Will, do we need a roll call on that?
Yes, sir, these are all resolutions here.
Okay, I didn't see roll resolutions.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Lawton,
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Brunner, Ellis,
Yes.
and Harmon.
yes.
Well, you get right through that, too, don't
Yeah,
you?
I've done better.
It is approved, thank you.
Thanks,
Took
Dick.
his meds today.
The next item is to appoint the following people to the ETSB 911 board for the term beginning November 30th, 23 and ending November 30th of 2026. Okay, Terry Rogers, who will be replacing Troy Eads. Chad Crampton is being reappointed, and David Brocklin is being reappointed. Any questions? Entertain a motion to approve those appointments, please. Russ moves, Dan seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay. Are there any department heads, since we had reports at the last meeting, are there any departments that want to report? Yes.
Just a real quick reminder that beginning next Thursday is the filing period for the next election, which is March 19th. So that will go from Monday, the 27th, until December the 4th.
What all up is for election, what
Well-
offices?
Locally,
Yes,
county board seats, precinct committeeman, circuit clerk, coroner, state attorney.
Yeah, there's 3 county board seats up, right?
Yes,
no townships,
no. Yeah, and then the only other thing I wanna do is wish you all a happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, we had, did you wanna introduce and then talk, did we need to talk about the bill from the, on the bicentennial?
Just briefly.
Yes,
Linda, I had communicated, backing up, just to refresh your memory, we had a bill from the chamber for expenses incurred regarding bicentennial celebration part of the Honeybee Festival. And the county and the city had said that we would share in those costs. But when we had received the statement, there was some more detail that we had needed. And I sent an email to the chamber, which Linda's kind of in flux there and hadn't received it. So Linda, will you just look at that email, forward it on to the appropriate person?
I actually did send something to Jeff that you did not receive with the letter.
Well, we
It was a
received
printout
the
of the
first.
expenses, like what?
yeah, we got
Right, we
those.
received that,
Okay.
but there were questions after that. And I
Oh.
had sent an email to info@chamber.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'll
got
go
the
back to it, but I
original
didn't-
info.
I
We
don't
just
recall.
had some questions on on cash without receipts, and whether you had even had income that might defray. We know it didn't make money, but if you had any income that would defray some of the costs. Okay?
All right, I will get that to you.
Okay. Sorry for the miscommunication,
It's
but
okay.
somewhere
I just
along the
didn't see
line
the
it
email,
happens.
so.
I just want to make sure that you knew that, we were willing to do it, we just needed some
And it's,
clarification.
just to clarify, the city has already paid their portion, so.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I will get something to Lisa with, do you want a copy of it too?
sure, or she can give
I'll
it to
send
me,
you both
whatever.
copies.
Yeah, thank you, Linda.
Uh-huh, you
Jeff,
bet.
I'm gonna need that so we can pay that claim
Right,
whenever you get that ready.
well, we
Just so you
want to
know.
see, and then we'll pass it on to you,
Okay.
yes. Okay, thank you, Linda. Board members, do we have any reports to make today? Do you have anything there, Danny?
We had one of our part-time helpers at the shelter resign last week. You have in front of you a list of the days she did not show up and the reasons why. Give you a couple minutes to look through that. So we met last Friday with her, and we went over those with her, and some of them are kind of iffy, so we asked her if she could improve on her attendance and work. She didn't know, so she resigned. If you read through there, the reasons that she didn't show up for work aren't very good,
Well,
so.
we don't
So
need
we're
to get
looking
into
for
great detail
our-
right now. If you guys have any questions, you can
Yeah.
ask Dan.
I think it's self-explanatory. I mean. So we're looking for another part-time person. She said she did have one she thought would be good, but she's thinking about it, so. So right now, she's back with, Linda's helping a little bit, and then she has a lady from Tarot a couple days a week, so.
Okay.
It's still putting a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure on her out there, so.
We understand.
So that's where we're at.
Andy, do you have any updates?
Just kind of looking forward to get some people moved into the new government building.
The question, I saw Michael yesterday, and he had a question. On the east wall, which would be the east wall of the actual cell block, I'm sorry, the west wall of the actual cell, no, it'd be the east wall. Do we want the footings to be enlarged there now or in the or will we do it in the future in case of expansion?
You're talking about two different things.
Yeah, you're talking about the jail, right?
I'm talking about the
She's talking
jail.
about the,
Diamond.
I know, I switched to the jail as an extra because I thought of something in talking to Michael yesterday.
Okay.
Were you done? I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
thought you were done.
Nope.
Okay, we're talking about the jail now. The east wall of the jail, the very eastern wall, which would be the eastern wall of the cell block. Do we want to enlarge that foundation now? Or do we need to just wait and see and deal with that on the eventuality that we expand the jail at some point?
Do you have a figure roughly?
Well, he thought about 20,
20,000?
yeah. But that's no guarantee that's what it is, but
Right.
and he's wanting to do what now?
enlarge the foundation to take more weight.
Oh, okay. Why just that?
In anticipation of building.
Because of possible expansion.
Possible
20 years,
expansion.
40 years from now.
Yeah.
The last one was built in the
Well, you can't go
1800s.
back, yeah.
Well, they'd have to do something in 20, 30 years or whatever it was to reinforce that foundation.
As long as,
Or they just put another one alongside of it. Go ahead, Andy.
as long as it fits in the budget of building the place,
Why not?
why, yeah, I would at this point, because I'm sure that would be a lot cheaper at this point than what it's gonna be in the future.
Try to go in and fix it,
Right.
when you already got it, this,
I thought so,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Just as long as it fits in, I mean, if we get down to where 20,000 makes a difference.
that's what I'm thinking, we're in trouble anyway.
Right, so I would probably do that at this point, if we can afford board to do that, I would.
Okay, switching back, in case you had, circling back to the government building, you're done, okay.
No.
Well, when's,
I'm hoping the first couple weeks of December.
okay,
Well, you might let them know we've already got,
Dina has sent me, I called the movers, and they said to send pictures of everything, and they can give me, they wanna know how many people and roughly how many trucks and whatever they need to do to move it. And so,
mostly hers is filed.
a lot of files.
Over the last couple of weeks, Ross has communicated with everybody and moved desks and taking care of putting stuff where it needs to go, in general. Not that there isn't other things to do. And Tammy and
Nathaniel have, she's moved in, he
Was sick
was under the
yesterday.
weather, so wasn't able to move quite this week, but he will before, like the end, before next week, I think he intends to be in there. So she was working down there yesterday, trying to get the phone, going through the phone systems, a new phone system for her, and she was just kinda getting set up down there.
Yep, looks good.
they're gonna move on the weekend,
Tammy's,
no,
the
the
other,
treasures and all that.
I haven't really nailed down exactly when.
Then whether take a 2-day job or they do it in a couple hours, you know,
I-
hard to move and still be operating over here.
Right. I think they try to move, as far as the movers themselves, I think they wanna know what you've got and try to do it pretty much within a day. I mean, they move the whole house in a day, so I think that's their.
They were talking about wrapping the files
Right.
and not taking them apart. Okay, so,
Yeah.
and of course, we talked about signage and various other things. You had some, we put a door in, or it's probably not in yet, but it's,
We're getting a door between Don's office and his secretary's office. He wanted to, she's gonna be right up one of those 3 offices. She's the non-glass window up front there, and Don wanted a doorway in there, so I got Carrie Jewel to put a doorway in, and we ran into electrical issues, so we got the electrician move some wires so the door can go through. They're working on that. I don't know if Gary, I know his wife, he had to take her to the hospital or something for something, so I don't know, I haven't talked to him yet. I'll get hold of him later today, see how he's doing.
okay. Any other questions?
Did they have a problem with the boilers at the jail last week?
Yeah,
Somebody said they were leaking or something.
it's leaking?
That's what, well, this, Don Finney's grandson mentioned
Well, it's got 2 pumps on it, and they were both out.
it. That's one
And he asked me if, I said, well, get it fixed. He goes, do you want a new pump or you wanna try to rebuild the old one? I said, do you feel comfortable that rebuilding the old one, cause it's $600 to rebuild it, it's $2,700 for a new one. So, I said, if you feel comfortable and it's gonna be satisfactory to rebuild it, then go ahead and do that.
That's one of the reasons.
So, he should be up and running today.
Anything else?
No.
Phil?
Nope.
Russ? Carl?
Lisa.
Lisa?
There we go.
There we go. I apologize, I should have covered a little bit on the health board Monday because we met last week instead of this morning. And thank you, Robbie, for your article on the Tiger Clinic, summarizing that conversation. And as stated in the article, Monica wanted to make sure and give thanks to Andy for all of your guidance on the building. She's so much more comfortable with knowing how to do that process, heaven forbid it ever be needed again. And it's moving forward and she's very pleased with it.
Good.
So, thank you. The interesting statistic, I love statistics, that she had given, They are seeing 46 high-risk children, 30 of those are in foster care. There are, and I'm not saying, I don't know if these are a subset or a separate group, I assume that it's a subset. There are 16 high lead level children that they are working with. I think those numbers are important. 46 high-risk children, 30 in foster care. So that means 16 are not. And then the Tiger Clinic, that's gonna be a heavy topic for Health Board to discuss in the next few meetings. Because when the acting superintendent spoke at our meeting, they had the current nurse practitioner, and that is separate from the school nurse. The current nurse practitioner is resigning the year end, and they would like for the health department to take that on. They had stated there are 54 school-based clinics. Most of those are in the Cook County, the Chicago area. So that's a big discussion on whether or not Health Board thinks that that is an appropriate addition of services and location for the Health Board to take on as a health department facility. Of course, all of the supplies, the room would be just moved right in. And then the $125,000 a year current grant just runs through 24-25, so then Monica would be responsible for finding other grant sources. The other very important item to note was they receive $125,000 a year on the grant, but this last year it cost $166,000 to run, and the balance was paid by the district. And they see currently 30 to 50 encounters a month. And they would like to also, if this continues, to have mental health counselor in addition to a nurse practitioner. So that's gonna be the next big topic. We did also discuss some, but Monica is gonna do some more research regarding the topic that was brought up on vendors for festivals, and how perhaps we need to reconfigure how we do our permits. So that's the other important thing. And then Monica had texted me that they had a drive-through flu vaccine clinic in Paris, and I wasn't able to go to that, but they had another one in Chrisman, so I stopped in there. And it was really well organized. Not a lot of people to attend, but it was very well organized. They had pop-up tents that they received through different grants, that if there's an incident in Edgar County, they're gonna have the materials, the supplies, and the way to get that set up very quickly. So I think that the health department is in good shape for that type of potential emergency. That's all I have.
Any questions of Lisa?
They got a dentist.
And they have a dentist? Yes.
Is it operating?
She is operating on a limited basis, still waiting for some different credentialing to get through.
I noticed that the State House, the reps and the senators are trying to relieve that problem, because that's a endemic problem with the state of Illinois, is renewal of licenses and approval of licenses has become a real issue, not just with our dentists, but throughout. They license well over, 1 million people? I can't imagine the state being able to do that quickly, so. Anyway, is there anything else to come before the meeting this morning?
I will say that EMS is hosting a community, well, first responders, so it's for the hospital and area emergency responders. We're hosting Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow night at 5:30. Hospital conference in May. I'll extend an invite to you all. I figure you all have plans, but I at least wanted to extend the invite. But all emergency responders and the hospital staff will be in attendance.
Thank
There you
you,
go, Bert.
appreciate it.
Another free meal.
I want to wish everybody a nice family Thanksgiving and enjoy yourselves. And I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Andy moves, Russ seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.
We have two free meals.